Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to do a spread that I saw Lisa over at Ceridwens Cauldron do, and I'll link her video down below if you want to check it out, and I do highly recommend that. And she created this spread based on chapter 6 in the book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, which is a book I highly recommend for all women and even men out there. Things from it come up when I'm doing readings all the time, so I can't recommend this book enough. So again, it's Women Who Run with the Wolves. It's very popular. You've probably at least heard about it, if not have read it already. So she came up with this spread for healing, for deep healing. And I have it written, I have all the questions for it. There's 5 positions or 5 questions or topics for them, so 5 cards will be drawn, and it has to do with feeling belonging and connecting with the inner wild woman. And I wrote down a note here, healing the mother wound. So if you've known me for a while, you followed my blog for years, or seen a few videos where I touch on this, I've done a lot of work doing healing work with my mother. Now, my mother passed away 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago, and she had Alzheimer's, and I was her main caretaker for much of her last few years. And we did not have an opportunity when she was in the living realm to talk through things and work through things. And prior to that, I was not quite aware of how much healing I needed until I was in that position of being her caretaker. So I've done a lot of work with her in spirit, working with her energy, her memory, but also communicating with her, often with the use and the aid of tarot cards, to do our healing, as well as working on myself, seeing things in myself that are a reflection of her or that I had taken on from her. I mean, this is various layers to this. I'm trying to sum it up here, but I've worked on that anytime I've noticed something within myself, but also working on forgiving not just her, but most importantly, forgiving myself. And this is sort of some of the deepest shadow work I've done, forgiving the angry child within myself for pushing her away or distancing her in the way that I did. Not that we were separated in life and like things were cut off, but energetically and emotionally, I did cut myself off because I felt wounded and abandoned and hurt. So I'll leave that there just to give you a little bit of background of what I'm going to address in this spread. And I do feel I have done a tremendous amount of healing with this, with my mother's energy, with her spirit. I'm at a place where I'm happy to connect to her in spirit, where even just 5 years ago, that was very difficult. I still had resistance. So that's the background to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around, and inspired by Lisa, I'm going to sort of do it how she did it. And I'm also going to use 2 decks like she did. So I hope that's okay, Lisa. You've totally inspired me with this. So the 2 decks I'm going to use, I'll show you these now. The first one is Soul Cards Tarot deck, and I call that my mother deck, my mommy deck, because it is velvety and luxurious, and it's black with gold, and it's like so my mother. And then I'm also going to use the Supra Oracle, which also is like dark brown and browns and gold. But it is a very Jungian psychological deck, so I thought that would be a good complement for the Soul Cards Tarot. Okay, so I'm going to turn the video around and do the reading. Okay, so I've shuffled the decks and we're ready to go. I'll read the questions as Lisa wrote them, and also if I've made any adjustments for myself. So the first card is Show Me the Wound of Not Belonging, which was like her theme in her video. And I'll put these questions, I'll pin these to the top of the comments below. And I sort of altered it to Show Me the Wound of Feeling Abandoned. So from the Soul Cards Tarot, we have the 8 of Wands. And I'm immediately thinking of fire and anger. And this may be reflecting how I mentioned earlier, the angry child within me. The greatest wound was the anger, and letting the anger affect how I treated her or didn't treat her, and how we related. And of course, I'll go deeper into this on my own. And then from the Supra Oracle, we have mysticism. Interesting. So this wound of feeling abandoned, and a very typical light or positive aspect of the abandoned child archetype, is learning independence. And though the wound was anger and fire, which is also inspiration and even creativity, that wound fueled my, I'll say, my journeys, my interest, even my purpose in mysticism. Interesting. Okay. The second question is, describe my relationship with my own collapsed mother. And then she puts in parentheses, or ambivalent mother, or child unmothered mother. And you listen to Lisa's video, because she explains those better, which comes from Women Who Run with the Wolves. And so I just sort of slightly altered that to describe my relationship with my inner collapsed mother, just to clarify the question for myself. And I will agree that I have a collapsed mother, and you could say collapsed mother archetypal energy within myself, because I feel my mother became a collapsed mother. It was not something she inherited from her mother, but developed more as she was an adult. Okay, so my relationship with my own inner collapsed mother, the Ten of Swords. Wow. I'm cutting her away. I'm cutting her away. If you watched my video on the Three of Swords, misunderstood Three of Swords, and Are Swords So Negative, in that video I explain where the Ten of Swords to me is the individual who's getting the reading, having to cut things away and remove things so that you can get to that dawn. So my relationship with my own inner collapsed mother is that I have been cutting her away. Not in the sense of suppressing and ignoring, but through embracing and acknowledging that energy within myself. And so to me, this affirms that, yes, as I feel I've done a lot of this healing. I don't know if it'll ever be done, but we're in a really good place right now. I am, concerning my mother wounds, and my relationship with my actual mother in spirit. Now from the Supra Oracle, we get feeling. So there are 4 cards, and like the whole labyrinth matches up, that represent thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. And that's from Carl Jung's personality types that became the MBTI. So, but in relation to this question, describe my relationship with my own inner collapsed mother. I'm feeling it. I feel literally. I've been feeling it. I was feeling what I was cutting away. I'm feeling it as I have cut away. I'm feeling that presence within myself, but I'm also have with a lot of compassion that I did not have when I was younger, and the angry inner child was dominant in that relationship. I'm feeling compassion for her. That's helped me to have compassion for that within myself. Wow. Okay. Number 3. What healing does my own internal unmothered mother need? And I just added on to that, as a mother now that I am a mother. What healing does my own internal unmothered mother need? So from the Soul Cards Tarot, Three of Wands. So both the number 3 and the Suit of Wands, the element of fire, are a lot about creativity. And that has come up quite a bit lately, especially the last new moon with the trine in fire. New moon in Leo in both Western and Vedic. I feel this is connecting to all of that. Synchronicity. What healing does my own internal unmothered mother need? Keep creating. Being creative is a huge part of my healing. And my own mother was very creative when I was very young, before she, I would say, became the collapsed mother. And that's a big part I have connected to now that I am a mother. Okay, and then from the Supra Oracle, we have Primordial. I want to say with this, getting deeper to the roots of it all. So my internal unmothered mother needs to get into the bones and the stone within myself. So like a deeper, hardened over time layer. And I can chisel away at that through my creativity. Okay, number 4. Show me the strong, wise, wild internal mother within me. So the wild woman, which is basically the main theme of Women Who Run with the Wolves. Show me the strong, wise, wild internal mother within me. So we have the 5 of Pentacles. Interesting. What I'm feeling here is sort of that balance point, because 5 is in the middle between 1 and 10, right? Number of change, but also chaos. And chaos is, I would connect with the wild woman. Not in a negative way, but in the sense of freedom. Creative chaos. Yeah. And be good with what I let go. Okay, and then from the Super Oracle, we have Anima. So Anima itself means soul. This is the feminine. In psychology, it's the, you could say, the inner feminine, usually in relation to a man. But that's significant for me with this. And the whole experience of being a mother and healing with my own mother. It's like uniting our feminine souls in a healthy and whole way. That's the best way I could describe that. And number 5, show me the path of motivation / locomotion. And so I wrote direction over that. So show me the path of motivation or direction that will lead me back to my strong, wise, wild internal mother always. So from soul cards, we have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, this is just all, to me, it's just all the creative fire, creativity. And I told this story in 1 or 2 maybe other videos. I think one was in an interview or a group video with someone, where years ago I had this dream that I gave birth to 3 fountain pens. And my impression was like, when I have a child, my creativity will just flow. And 3 is a number of creativity. And so the path of motivation and direction that will lead me back to my strong, wise, wild internal mother is, creativity. And I do feel like this reading is affirming I've done a lot of this healing and I'm on the right path, and it keeps going, right? And then from the Supra Oracle, Impasse. So what path? An impasse. My initial feeling here is when I come to an impasse, to not resist it, to not try to break it down, that those are moments of pause, and to embrace those moments of pause when I either feel or for whatever reason I actually can't move forward with something, with creativity, with my own inner work, that those moments of pause basically are important in themselves. Okay, that is, I'm going to call this my mother wound healing spread. I think Lisa called it something about not belonging. Yeah. All right. If you guys found this interesting, head on over to Lisa's channel. It's Ceridwens Cauldron. Again, it will be linked below. Excuse me. And join in on this. It's not really a tag. Maybe I'll tag it Mother Wound Healing Spread. Mother Wound Spread. I don't know. Yeah. Join in. Do this yourself if you feel it'd be beneficial, privately, or share it on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. Share this, and I'll see you back here soon.